three things that to be said. To begin with, Polavaram, technically Polavaram, I would not say viable, but it cannot be a sustainable project. The project, it is not a concrete structure to begin with. Most of the dams are concrete structures. And concrete structures do have good foundations. Polavaram is not a concrete structure, nor does it have, appropriate foundation. In the case of Polavaram, they would mix concrete and cement and put it across the river. So this is some kind of a earthen dam across the river. Now the flood is so heavy during the rainy season at that place where the Polavaram is being taken up, constructed, and it would wash away the structure, and as a process, major towns like Kakinada and Rajahmundry would be completely inundated. They would be submerged and the flood would destroy both these towns in a matter of hours. So this is what economics is. Secondly, the Polavaram and huge canals that the government is planning to construct, obviously they will create salinity problems in the entire coastline, because the regions where this canal is flowing through is already irrigated, and almost every field is getting water. If this dam is constructed and canals are dug, it would lead to salinity problems. Thirdly, Polavaram would lead to the submergence of one of the finest forests in this country, around the Papikondalu hill range. And fourthly, Polavaram also submerges about 2 lakh tribal population. And therefore, a renowned engineer like Hanmantrao, who is respected even in the United Nations Organization, Hanmantrao has recommended alternative structure. They said, not only Hanmantrao, at one point of time the government of Andhra Pradesh appointed Godavari Valley Authority, which invited expert opinions on the possibilities of utilization, the structures that can be built to utilize Godavari water. All of them suggested don't go for major dams, construct smaller dams and divert the water and store them in the tank. That would be an appropriate alternative they all recommended. Hanmantrao also recommended a similar alternative. But in spite of that, government is insisting on Polavaram project because of 2 reasons. You can switch off. I will be able to do all this. So government said that it is insisting because contractors want Polavaram to be built. It will lead to a hydel power station that would be highly profitable. And one politician, some contractor said, if Polavaram is constructed, the entire money can be recovered within 10 to 20 years. So that's the kind of money they get out of this hydel project. The canal can be used for navigation, and the water is required for the coastal corridor. And coastal corridor can be a very harmful project for the ecosystem of the coastal region. Now, yet they want to take up this project. And Supreme Court has given only the Ministry of Environment given only conditional permission. That the permission depends upon the court verdict. So pending the court verdict, you cannot do anything. And Orissa has refiled its own petition in the Supreme Court. And given all these arguments, it is very difficult to take up Polavaram project, and yet it becomes a prestigious project for coastal Andhra, and unnecessarily some politicians are trying to build a movement around this Polavaram project. And it would also lead to concentration of water only again, inequitable distribution of the Godavari river water. So these would be the harmful consequences, and therefore people are not opposed to the diversion of water to coastal Andhra. But then it has to be done through methods that would be less harmful to the people and also to the environment. And this is not something that the government is unwilling to discuss. At one point of time, the issue was taken up with the union government. And union government called for a deliberation, and in the course of after the discussions, the then Chief Minister Rajshekar Reddy agreed that he would appoint a technical committee to look into the issue. He appointed a technical committee, but he said we would require a project which would store about 80 TM and at the height, such a height, and take the water, level to such a height. Obviously, they would recommend only Polavaram, but nothing else. If you say, how water can be diverted without affecting the interest of the tribals and also the environment, obviously they would have suggested alternative structure. But that was not the terms of reference given to the, the committee. So, that's how they manipulated and are trying to construct Polavaram. One observation people say, they are postponing the demerger of Telangana so that they can complete the construction of Polavaram.
My doubt is, why don't they go for Pranahita and Elambali? Also, they will come for some 200 TMC water, right? So, why don't they prefer this Pranahita and this project?
If Pranahita is a tributary of Godavari and the Pranahita Elambali project is designed by the engineers, the Institution of Engineers located in Hyderabad. The Institution of Engineers says if you can lift Pranahita water to Elambali, that is a dam across Godavari, then that is located at a substantially high point, altitude, and water can be easily distributed to many dry areas. Now this project is not taken up because there is also a worry that this may reduce the flows to Polavaram project. That's the reason why they are not giving adequate importance to Polavaram project. So the ongoing Jalayagnam project central concern is to divert Godavari water to coastal Andhra and Krishna water to the Rayalaseema region without any substantial program or project for the development of irrigation facilities in Telangana. So this is the objective. Obviously within this framework they cannot really focus attention on Pranahita and Elambali project, and that project is not given adequate importance because. And it is in spite of this major agitation, in spite of all this protest, the government is not giving any consideration to this project. So this again, there are many such instances which you can explain, through which you can explain the kind of discrimination that Telangana faces.
One last question.
Here. I have a question. My last question. We have questions here.
Thank you, sir.